When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment? Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all? When you start learning again? Or with a new role? Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank. Cord Life. One chance, one choice.
Hi, everybody. A very, very good morning. A very warm welcome to all of you on this Saturday morning that you have joined us for a session to learn about antenatal, that is pregnancy care, and your diet and nutrition during pregnancy. The session is going to be for about an hour. So it is obviously a little longish, and it makes sense that you make yourself comfortable, get your snacks if you haven't eaten your breakfast, because many times you get up late on a holiday. So get your breakfast, use the washroom, get a lot of pillows, make yourself comfortable, and we will get started in just under 2 minutes. So get everything ready, and then I will introduce myself and the context of the session today. Okay, so I'm sure you're all settled and you're ready for a fun morning of learning all about your pregnancy and your care during this phase. If your husband is at home, have him join us. We would love to have the partner also involved. Agar और कोई family member, if any other family member is interested, so they can also listen in, and it's definitely going to be worth it for them in helping you take care of yourself during your pregnancy and post-delivery period. This session has been brought to you by Cord Life. Cord Life is one of India's leading stem cell banks. It was very, very, proactive of them. That as soon as the pandemic started, the entire range of webinars was organized so quickly that in spite of we not being able to meet you and you not being able to come for physical sessions, etc., the information, the knowledge, and the support is already well shared. So a very big thank you to Cord Life for this initiative over the last few months. I have been associated with them since the time the webinar started and the pandemic started. So I've seen this journey very, very closely. This session is also facilitated thanks to Dr. Ankita Goel and Dr. Neera Goel from the Recovery Hospital. So thank you, Dr. Ankita. Thank you, Dr. Neera, for giving us this opportunity of speaking to all of you lovely mamas and sharing the information from our end. So a very, very warm thank you for the opportunity. And now let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Sonali Shiblani. I'm a pregnancy and postnatal consultant. I'm based out of Mumbai. I have worked with parents for the last 17 years and more than 40,000 families through my programs, workshops, consults, etc. I have traveled in many parts of India, but now I do webinars for people in many parts of India. On the personal front, I am a mother as well. I have 2 kids. My kids are much older, of course. My son is 20 and my daughter is 18. So I'm a little bit of a storyteller. I like to tell stories and I like to give examples. So I hope to make this session interesting for you. One of the things that you may have noticed is that you have been automatically kept on mute. That means you cannot use your microphone because this session is being recorded. हम इसको record कर रहे हैं. And this recording will be shared with you after the session. So in about 48 to 72 hours, someone from the Cord Life team will be in touch with you and will share the recording. So therefore, this session is, you cannot speak. But of course, we want questions, right? how can you enjoy a session if you can't ask your little personal questions? So there is a question box in the dashboard, which is right next to you on the screen. You can keep putting your questions there. And when I'm closing the session in the last 15-20 minutes, I will make sure that I answer all of these questions, right? So let's go ahead and start this journey together on your pregnancy care and your diet and nutrition during pregnancy. So here is something that I always talk about as far as pregnancy is concerned. We divide it into 4 trimesters. So we have the first, second, and third. I'm sure you've heard about it all. And then the postnatal recovery, the 3 months post-delivery, is considered to be as the 4th trimester. Now, all of these trimesters can bring about changes in your body. You'll kind of, have some complaints, some discomfort, some excitement. All of that happens. And some of these things can last throughout the pregnancy. So even if mothers come in the 5th month or 6th month or 7th month of pregnancy and they don't want to learn about the first trimester, I always encourage them that, listen, there's no harm, or in getting the information, because you don't know whether that same thing will happen again with you in the 8th and 9th month. So it is, even if you are in that stage of the 7th, 8th and 9th month in the 3rd trimester, and you are thinking, okay, I'll join this session after 15-20 minutes, I'll do something and come, please don't. Please listen to the 1st and 2nd trimester information also, because sometimes these complaints, these discomforts can come back in the later part of pregnancy. So we'll start with the 1st trimester because that's where pregnancy begins. So the first thing that everybody does is you've missed your period and you've gone out to the chemist and got that home pregnancy test. So you do the stick test at home. And once you've done the stick test at home, you get a positive, those 2 lines, and you're very excited and you share the news with your husband, maybe absolute immediate family members, and start thinking that now I have to decide where I am going to get my checkups done, which means you are deciding on your doctor. So once you've decided that, okay, this is a particular doctor, there are many ways that people choose. It can be something which is close to the house, something that you have heard about, some doctor that, your family has been going to. So whatever your choice factor, you choose your doctor and you start doing your antenatal checkups. Now, antenatal checkups are a lot during pregnancy. So in the first 28 weeks, the doctor will call you for a checkup every month. If the pregnancy is healthy, normal, no complications, no history of any complications, etc. Otherwise, they'll call you more often. After 28 weeks, between 28 to 35 weeks, you will be going every 15 days. And in the last 5 weeks, that is your close, the home run as we call it, you will be meeting the doctor once a week. So this is the general routine that is planned for you. You will be getting your checks done at these point of times. If in between, for any reason, you need to get yourself checked, please don't hesitate. Don't wait for your next checkup. Always schedule an additional checkup in the middle. Nowadays, because of COVID, doctors are doing a lot of teleconsults as well. So do not hesitate to book your teleconsult. You will get a routine blood test and a quick scan, which will confirm the pregnancy. So presence of the yolk sac is noted. All of that is done. Then they're going to ask you to do a blood test for your iron, sugar, and thyroid. And additionally, the hospital requirements dictate that all the infectious diseases like HIV, hepatitis, etc. are also done. Another blood test, which is known as your marker screen. So there are 3 types, double, triple, and quadruple. Depending on what the doctor perceives is required for you, it will be recommended. And this test helps to rule out genetic abnormalities. So if you come to know in advance that there is a problem, then you can take a call and a decision as to how you want to deal with it. But if you don't come to know and it comes as a surprise later, then it can be very traumatic. So just make sure that you get all of the tests done as recommended, as required during this phase. Some of the things that can happen in the first trimester is frequent urination. I mean, you feel like going to the bathroom every 30 minutes, every 1 hour, and even after you're done, when you are coming out, you kind of feel that, I'm not comfortable yet. I still feel as if I have the sensation to pass urine. And this is normal. right? So we really can't, do much about it. Now, this is something which is very, very common during the pregnancy phase. And sometimes mothers ask me this question that my baby is still so tiny, my stomach is not growing, but still, why am I needing to go to the bathroom? This is purely hormonal changes. How do you deal with this? You can, have your water in limited quantity, but don't reduce your water intake. Have small quantities at every time, and especially at bedtime, reduce the quantity intake so that you don't have to get up often in the night. Don't strain to pass urine, and don't hold your urine for long, because then you can end up with a UTI, that is your urinary tract infections. Frequent urination can come back again in the third trimester. So that is something which happens again because of the growing weight of the baby on your bladder. Feeling tired is very normal. I think one of the first things that happened to me during my first pregnancy was that I used to come home from work and fall asleep on the couch at like 5:30 p.m., which is totally impossible for me. Once I get up in the morning, I'm generally like bouncing all over the house, and suddenly I'm like sleeping all over the house, and especially in the evening. It's normal. Your body is making this brand new life, and it is normal to feel tired. In fact, many mothers have come and told me that, can you please tell my mother-in-law that I'm not lazy and I'm feeling tired a lot, especially those mothers who have gotten pregnant very soon after their honeymoon. So they have not yet become comfortable with their families. They are still, just settling in. And then, you have a daughter-in-law who's sleeping all the time. So the mother-in-law starts thinking that, hey, what is happening? Why is she just not contributing to the house? So it's normal, right? So just listen to your body, get as much rest as possible, and make sure that, you take good care of yourself. Lower back pain is also quite common, and again, this is because of hormonal changes. The ligaments of the uterus are stretching, and this causes a little bit of pressure in the lower back as well. So we don't need to worry about it, but we need to make sure our posture is correct. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. We also have breast changes. That was what was my clue in my second pregnancy. So the breast becomes a little bit more sensitive, the areola becomes larger, darker, the nipples become more taut, you get little bumps on the areola. So all of these are little changes that happen. And I could look at myself in the mirror and say, something different about my breasts. So it's possible that I'm pregnant. And then I went and did my home pregnancy test, and it came out positive. So second time moms are a lot more wiser, and they can kind of, come up with this as a clue about their pregnancy as well. Many women in the first trimester, around 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy, experience nausea. And nausea is, again, hormonal changes. I mean, I'm sounding like a parrot, right? Everything is hormonal. But it is something which is common. And because your progesterone levels are rising, the nausea is bound to happen. And when progesterone levels kind of plateau, then the nausea tends to settle, right? So in most cases, it does settle down by about 14 to 16 weeks. But in some pregnancies, it can continue the entire pregnancy. And in some mothers, it can come back again in the last couple of months of pregnancy. So it's all common. And some mothers, and that's the good news, right? They don't get any nausea at all, which is amazing. And then they are worried. And that's also there, right? They're worried because they will turn around and say that, am I okay? Is everything all right with my pregnancy? Because people around them are starting to tell them that there is something wrong. There is something wrong. You are not, there's something wrong with your pregnancy. Make sure that you get yourself checked, and etc. So it's very worrying for the, mother to be listening to those kind of things. Good morning, ma'am. Dr. Ankita. I can see that Dr. Ankita has joined the session. And ma'am, if you would like to address the audience, please do so. Okay. So whenever ma'am is ready, she will, let us know. But till then, we will continue our conversation. So now what happens in the first trimester? We are so excited. Even I was so excited when I was pregnant the first time. I wanted to tell all my friends. I wanted to announce the news. I wanted to climb up on the roof and start shouting to the world, because I was very excited. But my mother was like, no, no, wait till 12 weeks are completed. Only then you should share the news because it is bad luck. That was what my mother said. But that's a myth. It's not bad luck. It's just that 26% of pregnancies could have some kind of anomaly because they're not viable. And the human body is wise enough to understand that, and then a spontaneous miscarriage can happen. So if that is what happens with you, then you don't want to go back and tell all those people that you had a pregnancy loss. So therefore, it is better to wait for the first 12 weeks. Once everything is all settled and the pregnancy is established well, then you can start sharing the good news. Till then, you can have a little secret about the bun in your oven for a few more weeks. Another thing that can happen is that you start craving different types of foods. So people start saying, oh, if you're kind of craving sweet foods or sour foods, it's a boy, it's a girl. So all these gender prediction things start off, which is also a myth, right? You cannot predict the gender of your baby in the womb. And most of the times, food cravings are happening because of some or the other nutritional deficiency. So if your diet is healthy, if you're eating a balanced meal, if you're just making sure that you're eating right, then chances that you get all these cravings are going to be very limited. Now let's move on to what we call the second trimester. So in the second trimester, there are some more tests that would happen. The first is your anomaly scan, which is a fun scan because in this, it's a longer scan, 20 to 30 minutes. The doctor is examining each and every part of the baby, is kind of, just ensuring that, the development is on track. You get to see your baby in so much detail. You can even actually identify features. So it's a fun scan. And also, of course, it's for good learning for the doctors. And if you're going in for your anomaly scan and if everything is healthy and normal with your pregnancy, what I would recommend is that you have something sweet in a liquid form about 15-20 minutes, half an hour before your scan. So what happens? Your sugar levels rise, the sugar levels going to the womb also rise, and the baby tends to become more active. So the baby will move around a lot. The doctor will get to see all the views inside, and you will also get some nice images for yourself. So that's something which an anomaly scan can do. And if your husband has missed many of the scans, this is a scan that he should definitely try to be a part of because he will also really get a chance to experience the baby, which starts the whole bonding process. We also do a glucose tolerance test in the second trimester to ensure that you are not developing a condition known as gestational diabetes. This is the longest test. There are 3 samples taken at regular intervals. So you need to plan and prepare for this, right? Don't kind of, think that, oh, it's just a blood test. I'm going to go and I'm going to be free for the rest of the day. It can take away half your day. All throughout, the doctor will be doing your blood pressure and weight checks. And if a flu shot is recommended by your doctor, then please do take it. Now, these are some of the things that are happening as far as your second trimester is concerned. There is a lot of growing weight in the abdomen. Now you cannot hide your pregnancy. It's visible, right? I mean, up till now, if you were wearing loosish clothes and all, nobody could guess. But now that little bump is going to be very, very obvious. Your appetite improves because your nausea has settled. So you start feeling that you can eat a lot more, you can eat better. But just make sure that you're still eating healthy. Your energy levels are much better. So you're not feeling as tired as you were feeling in the first trimester. So you are able to accomplish and achieve a lot. And here is the time where, because of the growing weight, the posture is going to get affected. So let's talk a little bit about how you can take care of your posture. So this is a woman standing and she's pregnant. If you look at the image on the right, she's kind of, tilted forward. There's a curvature in her back. So that's something which is an incorrect posture. It's going to cause a lot of discomfort and back pain as the pregnancy progresses. So the curvature of the back is natural. But because of the growing weight, this kind of goes a little bit more, right? So this puts a lot of strain on your lower back. Another thing that happens is that the breast has started increasing in size. So there's a lot of weight over here, and that causes, a hunch in the shoulders. So your pregnancy posture pretty much becomes like this. So what mothers have to do is focus on the woman which is on the left. Every time, just make sure that you kind of, are erect. You push your shoulders back. You kind of stick your chest out a little bit so that you don't create any back problems for yourself. And this is a good standing posture. This is a woman who's sitting, whether it's working at a desk, whether it is sitting to watch television, cut vegetables, whatever the woman is doing in a sitting posture. Now, in this case, if you look at the woman on the left, she is not taking full back support, she's slouching. But the woman on the right is taking excellent back support and ensuring that, her entire back is well supported. So if the chair or the sofa or the couch is not allowing you to do that, then you can have a small pillow which you can tuck in the small portion of your back, which will help you to stay erect and comfortable and well supported even when you are in a sitting position. Now let's talk about food, because that's obviously something which is very, very important for all of us. So we need to make sure that we have healthy snacks and meals and a little bit of effort. It's not necessary that you have to do a lot of hard work to get this organized, but a little bit of effort can go a long way in making sure that, you get the right nutrients for your pregnancy. And the reason why we focus so much on the nutrients is because healthy eating habits benefit not only the baby, but the mother and the entire family. I'm sure you've understood how it helps the baby and the mother, but why the entire family? Because if the mother is eating right, everyone has no choice but to eat right, because that's what's being made at home, isn't it? But yet we need to convince you. So we have some benefits for the baby. The baby is growing inside the mother from a single cell to trillions of cells. There is so much physical development. When the baby is conceived, there's nothing. It's just one little tiny cell. But when the baby is born, there is a brain, there is heart, lungs, kidneys, everything is ready. There are arms, legs, fingers, toes, eyelashes, nails, so much physical development, right? So all of this requires good nutrition from the mother's side. And the mental development. So brain development is supposed to be optimal in the womb. The maximum brain cells are laid out there. And the brain cells that we are born with is what we live with for the rest of our life. So hey, we need to make sure that we eat right so that we create a lot of brain cells which can then be used for, nice things and good progress as the child grows later in life. An ideal birth weight is very important. If the baby is born too low on birth weight, that is less than 2.5 kilos, it can mean certain complications. It can mean admission into the NICU, early childhood issues like bronchitis, asthma, etc. And if the child is too big, above 3.5 kilos, then it could mean a complicated delivery or maybe a surgical birth and even obesity later in life. So that is something which we kind of, have to be cautious with. We have to be careful with. For the mother, it means a healthy and safe pregnancy. Because, I'll tell you something which my doctor told me, because I used to ask her like these million questions all the time. So she finally one day told me, Sonali, you're pregnant, you're not sick. It's a normal part of your life. As long as you take good care of yourself and focus on your physical and emotional well-being, pregnancy is a breeze, right? So you have a healthy and safe pregnancy away from different complications. Your labor and delivery happens on time, because between 37 to 40 weeks is considered to be full term. So if the baby comes early, it's not fun, right? You have so much extra care and expenses and stress, etc. that will come in. Even if when you're going in for labor, it was one of the scariest thoughts in my first pregnancy, right? That, oh my God, labor, it's so unheard of. We don't know what's going to happen. So keeping all that in mind, if your body is fit, if your body is in the right condition, then you'll be able to manage it well, right? If we are fit and fine, we can do our daily chores. So if we are fit and fine, we can also cope with the pains of labor. I'm not saying that you will not get labor pains. You will. but you will be able to manage them better. You will be able to cope with them better. So many hormones we spoke about, right? All the complications or discomforts that I was talking about, I was mentioning hormones. So if the hormones are managed well, if they are balanced well, then you will have less discomforts, right? And then last but not the least, which is of course one of my favorites, is optimal weight gain. So if my weight gain is right, I don't get, all the extra fluid retention, edema, I can lose this weight well later. So there are loads of benefits as far as my weight being correct during my pregnancy. During pregnancy, you need about 300 extra calories, and post-delivery, when you're breastfeeding, you need about 300 to 500 extra calories for a single pregnancy. So if we are carrying multiples, then the count becomes a little bit higher. But what is 300 extra calories? It's 2 rotis, a bowl of vegetables, and a cup of milk. That's it. That is what accounts for 300 extra calories. It doesn't mean that you have to eat double because, oh, I'm double now, so I must eat double. It's not a license that normally I can eat my laddus and I can eat my ice creams and I can eat my pastries and I can do everything wrong just because during pregnancy weight gain is okay. Anyways, I have to gain weight, so let me enjoy. It should not be like that, right? You have to gain weight, but it should be the right amount of weight with the right food, not with all the wrong things. The right food is your balanced meals, right? You have to think about meals as your 5 fingers, right? You should have all the 5 components. So now let's talk about what these are. We're talking about your carbohydrates. Let me make it really simple for you. These are your grains. So your grains are your roti, your rice, your upmas, your pohas, your idlis, your dosas, parathas. All of these go in your grains, right? Choose something which is an unrefined grain, which is not like polished. So avoid maida, avoid white rice. So make sure you have a healthy grain in your meal. The second is your fruits and vegetables. So whatever is seasonal, different colors, you consume about 500 grams total of fruits and vegetables in the entire day. Now, all fruits and vegetables are allowed, but avoiding things like papaya and pineapple, depending on your pregnancy conditions, is very, very imperative. I mean, you have to discuss this with your doctor, but typically everything in moderation is allowed. The third thing that we are talking about is your proteins. And proteins are very, very essential, very, very important. So if you're a vegetarian, focus on your dals, focus on your legumes like cholas, rajmas, vatanas, etc. And then the other area that you are looking at is, your nuts and your seeds. You can also have things like paneer. All of those things are good vegetarian protein sources. But if you're a non-vegetarian, you can have your eggs. Most of the times you can have multiple egg whites and avoid, having, most of the times you avoid having too much of egg yellow. Just thoda sa you have more of egg white. So agar aap eggs lena chahte hain, to you can have at least 2-3 egg whites and only egg yellow, only 1 egg yellow, right? Chicken, आप skin वगैरह निकाल के, if you eat fish 2 or 3 times a week, you can consume fish as well. जो हमको चीजें avoid करनी है at this point of time is things like shellfish, avoid prawns, avoid जो large fishes होती है जैसे shark वगैरह आपको avoid करनी चाहिए. तो ये सारी चीजें आप अपने डाइट में ले सकते हैं. आप mutton also if you want you can take, but it's can increase your cholesterol. तो थोड़ा सा mutton पे भी control is a good idea. You can have it once in a while. जो भी आप नॉन वेजिटेरियन या एनीवेज जो भी आप आइटम्स लेते हो अच्छे से कुक्ड होने चाहिए. They should not be raw. We have to avoid too much of raw food and especially outside. So अगर आप बाहर से कभी कुछ मंगाते हैं तो then that should always be something which is well cooked. There is also dairy products जिससे आपको आपके बेबी की बोन डेवलपमेंट, टीथ डेवलपमेंट और मसल डेवलपमेंट होती है. तो मिल्क, दही, चीज, पनीर, ये सारी चीजें आपको दिन में कम से कम 2 से 3 बार लेनी है. अभी जनरली क्वेश्चन ये भी उठता है कि मुझे स्किम्ड मिल्क लेना चाहिए या मुझे फुल क्रीम मिल्क लेना चाहिए. But full fat milk is only fat. It's, I mean, of course, दूसरे nutrients हैं, but you're just getting extra fat, and that is not necessary. Last but not the least होता है जो छोटा सा section है आपके pyramid का, is your fats, oils and sweets. So आप थोड़ा इसको कम मात्रा में लें, इसकी भी जरूरत है, your body requires it. But इसमें आप healthy options लेंगे तो that is always better for you. इससे पहले कि मैं आगे मतलब अलग अलग ट्राइमेस्टर्स की डाइट के बारे में बात करूं, इफ डॉक्टर अंकिता मैम वुड लाइक टू एड्रेस द ऑडियंस. मैम, अगर आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट करके आप ऑडियंस से बात करना चाहेंगे तो आप प्लीज गो अहेड.
Hi Sonali ma'am, how are you? Hope you're good. Hi.
All well, thank you so much.
Hello ma'am. So I'm Dr. Ankita. I'm here to talk about your antenatal. So let ma'am speak first, and you can post your questions due to some time crunch. I will take your questions and we can go ahead from there. Okay. So first, let's let ma'am finish it off. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
All right. So first trimester generally होता है कि because of nausea हम ज्यादा खा नहीं पाते हैं, फिर हम stress लेते हैं कि do I need more food? So don't worry, अगर आप ज्यादा नहीं खा पाते हैं, आप ज्यादा food नहीं retain कर रहे हैं nausea की वजह से, तो आपको चिंता नहीं करना चाहिए. यहाँ पर आपको ensure करना है that you stay well hydrated. So पानी अच्छे से पीते रहिए और oily और spicy food को avoid करिए. Eat small meals और simple carbohydrates जैसे रोटी, राइस, ब्रेड, ये सब आप अपने स्टमक को सेटल करने के लिए ज्यादा मात्रा में ले सकते हैं. अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं ले पा रहे हैं और बहुत नौशिया हो रहा है, बहुत वॉमिटिंग हो रही है, then please make sure that you tell your doctor because it could be a pregnancy complication and the doctor will give you medications for it. These medications आपके लिए सब safe है. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये medications unsafe है because ये जो पुराना मिथ है ना that medications are problematic, it's not true. अगर आपके डाइट में कुछ कमी हो रही है, आप नहीं रिटेन कर पा रहे हो, तो these medications can actually help you. At this time आपके डॉक्टर आपके लिए एक फॉलिक एसिड और मल्टीविटामिन भी प्रिस्क्राइब करेंगे. आप प्लीज इनको जरूर लीजिए बिकॉज ये आपके वेलबींग के लिए बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. सेकेंड ट्राइमेस्टर जैसे मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बताया है, बड़ा कंफर्टेबल ट्राइमेस्टर है. यहाँ पर नौशिया वगैरह थोड़ा कम हो जाता है, डाइट इंप्रूव हो जाती है, बट यू शुड मेक श्योर कि आप अब इसमें ओवरबोर्ड ना जाएं. आप सिर्फ हेल्दी चीजें ज्यादा खाएं ताकि आपका वेट गेन इज नॉट एक्सेसिव. सारे फूड ग्रुप्स पे ध्यान रखना है. डू नॉट फोकस ओनली ऑन 1 or 2 थिंग्स. एंड जो भी फूड रिलेटेड मिथ्स है जैसे बहुत बादाम खाओ, सफेद चीजें खाओ, you should stay away from those things because those are just going to complicate matters for you. थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में गुड क्वालिटी प्रोटीन्स की बहुत जरूरत होती है बिकॉज यहाँ पर ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है. तो प्रोटीन फूड्स की मैंने तो आपको ऑलरेडी लिस्ट काफी सारी बता चुकी हूँ, तो इन पे आप ज्यादा फोकस करिए. दिन में 3 to 4 टाइम्स आप प्रोटीन रिच फूड्स जरूर लीजिए, ब्रेकफास्ट, लंच, डिनर और शाम के ब्रेकफास्ट में भी. कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स आपके हेल्दी होने चाहिए. आयरन की कमी हो जाती है जनरली इन द थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर, तो आयरन रिच फूड्स आपको सही मात्रा में लेने चाहिए. ओमेगा 3 एक जो सप्लीमेंट भी मिलता है और फूड्स जिसमें ओमेगा 3 होता है जैसे फ्लैक्स सीड्स है, वॉलनट्स है, ऑलिव्स है, एवोकाडोस है, ये सब आपको अपने डाइट में इंक्लूड करने चाहिए. क्योंकि द प्रेगनेंसी इज बिकमिंग सो बिग एंड इट इज प्रेसिंग अगेंस्ट द स्टमक, यू मे फाइंड कि आपकी एपेटाइट अब कम हो गई है, तो आपको बहुत ही न्यूट्रिएंट डेंस फूड्स और स्मॉल पोर्शंस. तो क्या होता है कि वी ईट समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट completely healthy just because it is from our taste perspective, when we get compromised, हमारा nutrition levels कम हो जाते हैं. ये मेरा एक सुपर फूड्स का लिस्ट है and I share this with all pregnant mothers. ये आपको अपने डाइट में रेगुलरली इंक्लूड करने चाहिए. Sweet potatoes, something which is not very commonly used in a lot of houses, but आजकल I'm from Mumbai, तो बॉम्बे के स्ट्रीट्स पे हमको ये बहुत दिखाई देता है. So this is a very good item. Eggs अगर आप लेते हो तो you should make sure that you have eggs on a daily basis. Green leafy vegetables which will help कि आपके iron और folic acid वगैरह का levels अच्छे से maintain करेगा. Pulses, legumes and lean meat, ये भी items जो है वो protein rich है. Berries अगर season में हो, because अभी currently कोई भी berries का season नहीं है, तो you can take dried berries. तो ड्राइड बेरीज जो पैकेट में मिलते हैं, लेकिन जरा लेबल्स अच्छे से पढ़ लीजिए ताकि उसमें ज्यादा शुगर वगैरह ना हो। होल ग्रेन्स एंड सिर्फ गेहूं और चावल पे ना अटके, प्लीज ट्राई टू इंक्लूड अदर ग्रेन्स लाइक योर बाजरा, जवार, नाचनी, ओट्स, ये सारी चीजें आपको अपने डाइट में इंक्लूड करनी चाहिए। एवोकाडोज अगर आप manage कर सकते हैं, because I know it is a little difficult to understand avocados when they are ripe, how to make them ripe, all of that. But if you can include some avocado in your diet a few times a week, it will be helpful. Dry fruits, nuts and seeds को आप fillers बना दीजिए, आप अपने ready रखिए साथ में, ताकि जब भी थोड़ी भूख लगे तो 2-4 आप अपने मुंह में आराम से डाल सकते हैं। ये कुछ चीजें हैं जो you should avoid, जैसे raw meat, soft cheeses and milk, जो अनपेस्चराइज्ड है। सो अगर आपके घर में या आपके एक्सेस में फार्म है जहाँ पे काउस, बफलोज मिल्क देते हैं डायरेक्टली, आप वो पीते हैं, दैट इज नॉट रेकमेंडेड। रॉ एग्स बिल्कुल नहीं लेने। रॉ एग्स काफी सारे फूड्स में आ जाते हैं, जैसे चॉकलेट मूज, वेरी वेरी टेस्टी एंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, बट लेकिन उसमें रॉ अंडे होते हैं, सो वी शुड अवॉइड दैट। Excess fish 2-3 times a week is okay, but more than that, अगर mercury levels आपकी बॉडी में ज्यादा हो जाता है तो that becomes toxic. अजीनोमोटो जो चाइनीज फूड में आम पाया जाता है, you should try to avoid that because इससे बेबी के ब्रेन पे इफेक्ट हमने मतलब there are some studies which are showing that. So in excess it is not good. Once in a while if you've had it, it's not the end of the world, but try and avoid as much as possible. कैफीन जो चाय, कॉफी, एरिएटेड बेवरेजेस में होती है, वो आपको फ्रीक्वेंट यूरिनेशन करवाता है, आपके आयरन अब्सॉर्प्शन को रिड्यूस करता है, आपके बेबी को अननेसेसरीली हाइपर एक्टिव बनाता है। सो यू शुड अवॉइड हैविंग एक्सेस ऑफ टी, कॉफी एंड एरिएटेड बेवरेजेस एंड अल्कोहल एंड एनी अदर ड्रग्स, बिल्कुल एब्सोल्यूट जीरो। मतलब बाकी सारी चीजों पे तो हम बोले थोड़ा यहाँ हो गया, थोड़ा वहां हो गया, इट्स ओके, बट अल्कोहल एंड अदर फॉर्म्स ऑफ ड्रग्स आर Absolute no. यहाँ पर आपको अपने डेंटल हाइजीन के बारे में सोचना चाहिए। मेक श्योर कि आप एक डेंटिस्ट चेकअप और क्लीन अप जरूर करवा दें। गम्स ब्लीडिंग काफी कॉमन होती है, गम्स आपके स्पंजी हो जाते हैं, यू गेट लिटिल बिट ऑफ पेन आल्सो। सो अगर आप ये चेकअप और क्लीन अप करवा लेंगे तो आप यू विल बी कंफर्टेबल एंड इट इज विल बी हेल्पफुल। एंड रेगुलरली यू शुड ब्रश योर टीथ, यू शुड मसाज योर गम्स एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो यूज अ माउथ वॉश। किसी किसी का आई नंबर भी चेंज हो जाता है ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी, तो एक आई चेकअप भी करवा लेना चाहिए अगर आपका नंबर है तो। बिकॉज क्या होता है कि इफ द आई नंबर चेंजेस एंड देन यू स्टार्ट गेटिंग ब्लरी विजन, हेडेक्स, all of those, then it becomes like there is some other problem and we don't think that it could be just because of the eyes. So have an eye checkup then. कोई भी जारिंग मूवमेंट्स जिसपे झटका लगे, जैसे अगर आप ऑटो रिक्शा या 2 व्हीलर्स में ट्रैवल करते हैं या कोई भी एक्टिविटी जिसमें आपको जर्की मूवमेंट्स होते हैं, ये आपको कंप्लीटली अवॉइड करनी है। बेबी के मूवमेंट्स का ट्रैक रखना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज बेबी के जो मूवमेंट्स हैं वो बाय 18 to 20 वीक्स मोस्ट फर्स्ट टाइम मदर्स विल स्टार्ट फीलिंग सम मूवमेंट्स। शुरू में दे आर लाइक लिटिल फ्लटर्स, दे माइट फील लाइक लिटिल गैस बबल्स, बटरफ्लाइज, एंड अराउंड 26-28 वीक्स दे आर रियली स्ट्रॉन्ग। सो आपको किक्स वगैरह भी फील होंगे, अच्छे स्ट्रॉन्ग मूवमेंट्स फील होंगे, बेबी का मूवमेंट बाहर भी दिखाई देगा, महसूस होगा। तो जैसे ये महसूस होना शुरू होता है, एक फीटल किक काउंट का आप चार्ट बना लीजिए। मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव दिस चार्ट because you can compare your baby's movements with your baby's movements. You don't have to compare with anybody else. And whatever vaccinations are being advised, you must make sure that you take them. Again, आ जाते हैं myths, gender prediction. Most mothers को pregnancy belly मतलब belly पे एक dark line आ जाती है. This is called the linea nigra. A lot of people, old wives will say that line आ गई तो it's a boy, line नहीं आई तो it's a girl. And ये hormonal है. ये 90% of women को होती है during pregnancy. It happens and it will disappear a few weeks post birth. So don't worry about it. This is completely normal and it doesn't indicate whether you're going to have a boy or a girl. Acidity काफी आम होती है. It's very common during pregnancy and ये माना जाता है, it is said that जिसको acidity ज्यादा होती है उसके बेबी के बाल बहुत ज्यादा है. इसमें एक्चुअली एक छोटी सी स्टडी की गई थी. It's a very small study जिसपे कुछ मदर्स को एवेल्युएट किया गया था ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी एंड उनके जो एसिडिटी रिलेटेड सिम्टम्स थे उनके बेबी के हेयर के साथ जब वो उनकी डिलीवरी हुई कंपेयर किया एंड वो देखा गया कि जिन बेबीज को ज्यादा हेयर है उन मदर्स को ज्यादा एसिडिटी हुई थी. अब इसका और आगे कनेक्शन क्यों, क्या, कैसे, कब, वो सब नहीं हुआ है. And it's just a very small study. But okay, maybe we can, think about it in that manner. That if there is a little extra acidity, maybe my baby is going to have a good head of hair. अब हम आते हैं थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर पे. यहाँ पे आपका एक और अल्ट्रासाउंड होता है. There's an additional ultrasound which is called your growth scan. So we check, is the baby at par with the gestation age? There is no growth retardation. कुछ problems नहीं है, कुछ complications नहीं है. So that we are headed towards a normal delivery. यहाँ पे जो ब्लड टेस्ट है दोबारा रिपीट होते हैं आयरन, थायराइड के. जो इन्फेक्शियस डिजीजेस जैसे हेपेटाइटिस, HIV वगैरह, ये सारे भी रिपीट होते हैं बिकॉज दीज आर हॉस्पिटल प्रोटोकॉल्स. यहाँ पे वैक्सीनेशन होती है टेटनस की. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इट प्रोटेक्ट्स यू फ्रॉम द surgical equipment or any other equipment that is used during the delivery from the tetanus virus. So this is a vaccination जो 2 डोज दिए जाते हैं to all mothers. अब ये आपके डॉक्टर पर डिपेंड करता है कि ये 6th-7th मंथ में दें या 7th-8th मंथ में दें, तो डॉक्टर विल डिसाइड. बट ये ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी 2 डोज आपको दिए जाते हैं. Tdap वैक्सीनेशन अगर आपके डॉक्टर रेकमेंड करते हैं, दिस इज फॉर whooping cough. You can consider it because 32 weeks के बाद जनरली ये वैक्सीन दी जाती है and it gives some protection against whooping cough to your fetus also. So जब baby is born, this vaccination effect is available for the baby as well. A lot of places we are seeing that this vaccination is becoming very common now because whooping cough के जो symptoms हैं, they are quite similar to the symptoms which are there for COVID as well. कुछ चेंजेस जो आपको एक्सपीरियंस होंगे इस टाइम पे इस ब्रैक्सन हिक्स कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस. तो ये आपके फेक कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस हैं. इसमें यूट्रस का मुंह नहीं खुलता बट यू विल एक्सपीरियंस कि आपका स्टमक थोड़ा सा टाइट होता है, थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स होता है एंड इट इज एब्सोल्युटली पेनलेस. उसकी कोई स्केड्यूल नहीं है. इट इज कंप्लीटली स्पोरेडिक. रात में अगर लेग्स में क्रैम्प्स वगैरह आते हैं तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप अपना वाटर इनटेक जरूर इंक्रीज कर दीजिए एंड you should also elevate your feet. इस तरह. So normally we put one pillow and we put our feet up, but you have to elevate above the heart. So इस तरह का आपको pose रखना चाहिए few minutes at a time. आप ज्यादा time तो ऐसे नहीं रह सकेंगे, but a few minutes at a time you can definitely be in a position like this. थकावट comes back, tiredness comes back. It's normal. You're carrying so much extra weight. दूसरी चीज जो होती है कि हम बेबी का पोजीशन, वी लुक एट द बेबीज पोजीशन एज वेल. सो नाउ लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट दैट. ये कुछ बेबी पोजीशंस होते हैं जिसमें नॉर्मल डिलीवरी के लिए हेड डाउन एंड द हेड इज फेसिंग बैकवर्ड्स टू द मदर्स बैक. बट अगर कभी कभी कुछ पोजीशंस होते हैं वेयर द बेबी इज इन अ ब्रीच पोजीशन, दैट इज द बटक्स और द लेग्स आर कमिंग फर्स्ट. या द बेबी इज गिविंग अ ब्राउ प्रेजेंटेशन जिसमें उसका हेड टिल्ट हो गया और फेस पहले बाहर आ रहा है, और द बेबी इज इन अ शोल्डर और अ ट्रांसवर्स पोजीशन. सो ये भी पेल्विस से बाहर निकलना, एज यू कैन सी इन द पिक्चर, इज नॉट पॉसिबल. सो अगर आपके लास्ट स्कैन्स में कोई abnormal पोजीशन नोट की जाती है, द डॉक्टर विल लेट यू नो एंड अ डेट फॉर अ सर्जरी विल बी प्लान्ड अकॉर्डिंगली. Back pain because of growth of weight in the abdomen is very very common. So please take care of your postures. अगर आप gentle back massage वगैरह करवाते हैं तो there is no issue. And अगर आपके पैर सूज रहे हैं और fluid retention बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, other parts also, hands, face वगैरह, so you should get your blood pressure checked. It's very important कि ये आप डॉक्टर को जरूर बताएं. मिथ्स जो होते हैं थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में कि बोला जाता है कि 35 वीक्स 9th मंथ में डिलीवरी हो तो इट्स नॉर्मल. वी रियली वुड प्रेफर कि डिलीवरी 37 वीक्स के बाद ही हो. सो 9th मंथ में बेबी के लंग्स वगैरह मैच्योर होते हैं. दैट हेल्प्स द बेबी टू नॉट रिक्वायर एनी काइंड ऑफ NICU एडमिशन. प्रेगनेंसी एंड द पोस्टपार्टम पीरियड, इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि आप अपने बॉडी को ट्रस्ट करें एंड अपने आप पे ट्रस्ट करें. ये जो आप चेंजेस एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं ये नॉर्मल है, फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस हैं. आपको अपने ऊपर ट्रस्ट करना चाहिए, अपने बॉडी पे ट्रस्ट करना चाहिए टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इट रिक्वायर्स. नेचर इज ब्यूटिफुल. I mean, I can do an entire full day session on how nature helps during pregnancy, post-birth, care for the baby. And if we allow nature to do its job, we will have a relaxing and enjoyable experience. Ma'am, before I wrap up, Ankita ma'am, would you like to again talk a little bit or add something to the content which has been covered?
Yeah, ma'am. So a lot has been covered by you already. I would ask my attendees who are there to start asking questions about the antenatal because I think you have covered the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. So if there is anything they want to ask, then I'm absolutely open for questions now.
Okay, so everybody, please आप अपने questions डाल दीजिए. Till then, I'll just kind of complete a few things which are their gifts and etc. So till they type the questions, then I'll read out the questions and आप answer कर सकते हैं. Right?
Sure.
When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment. Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all. When you start learning again. Or with a new role. Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank. Cord Life. One chance, one choice.
एक और छोटी सी गिफ्ट है for all the mamas who are attending. Mama Earth और Cord Life की तरफ से this is the gift voucher for you. Cord Life की टीम आपको ये voucher session के बाद पहुंचा देगी and you can then do a little bit of shopping for some natural skin and hair care products for your pregnancy and even for after delivery baby care products. These are some books which are there on the market which I have written. अगर आप इनको Amazon पे लेना चाहते हैं तो please go ahead. We are ready for questions. मेरे personal details भी मैंने यहाँ screen पे डाल दिए हैं और Cord Life की भी सारे details मैंने screen पे डाल दिए हैं. So for anyone who is interested in reminding, please make sure that you take down these numbers. So I'm opening the question box. अगर जो भी questions हैं, मैम मैं आपके लिए read करूँगी and then आप please answer कर दीजिए. Just give me a second.
Definitely.
All right. Pehla question. Can we eat anjeer in the 7th month of our pregnancy?
Again, I would just like to see that written once. Is it on the screen, the questions?
Ma'am, if you open the question box, you should be able to see it. If you see the dashboard on your side, वहाँ पे एक questions का section होगा. उसमें एक side में arrow है. आप उस पे click कर दीजिए on that tiny arrow which is pointing to the right.
Yeah, it is open, but I can't see it completely. Okay.
और उसके बाद ऊपर there is a small box. So just click on that. That will expand it.
Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So then you can scroll up. So I've gone to the very first question, which came at 10:41 a.m. Which is asking, can we eat anjeer in the 7th month of our pregnancy?
Yeah, you can have 1 to 2 anjeers per day in 7 months of your pregnancy. It's fine. Third trimester, we can start having a little bit of dry fruits. That's okay.
Okay. All right. I've explained diet, but I think some others wants to know the diet schedule from the 7th month. तो अगर आप explain कर दें कि कैसे full day का diet बनाना चाहिए, तो that will be helpful.
Okay, so for the diet, ma'am, you can take away. I can answer the antenatal questions, but I think a wholesome diet should be there. And as Sonali ma'am must have explained to you, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, diet-wise also. So from our side, I think we should include a lot of proteins in the diet and should have a good amount of carbohydrates and vitamins. Everything should be there. It should be a wholesome meal. not a lot of fats. Definitely, I would suggest not to go for a lot of ghee or lot of butter because it will just deteriorate your health in the long run.
Right. एंड ऑल्सो प्रेगनेंसी में क्या होता है स्पेशली थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में बिकॉज आप ज्यादा एक टाइम पे नहीं खा सकते तो मल्टीपल छोटे छोटे मील्स आपको लेने चाहिए सो स्केड्यूल कैन बी आप दिन में 5 या 6 बार अपने मील्स को ब्रेकअप कर सकते हैं वन बिग मील में नॉट बी हेल्पफुल बट मल्टीपल स्मॉल मील्स कैन हेल्प
Okay.
Alright, so the next question is how do I stay positive during pregnancy?
You should start meditation in pregnancy very early on, starting with the first trimester itself. It helps to calm down your nerves. You become more confident in your day-to-day life, and you should eat well, eat at regular intervals, as ma'am said, and watch good videos. Watch baby videos and watch something. Maybe religious if that helps you, and listen to good music. All these things they help you also in the pregnancy as well as the baby to grow too.
Okay. Alright, so जैसे मैम ने भी सजेस्ट किया मेडिटेशन करिए अच्छा सा खाना खाइए अगर अलाउड है तो एक्सरसाइज वगैरह तो थोड़ी करिए नेगेटिव लोगों से दूर रहिए आई थिंक दैट आल्सो हेल्प्स मैम दैट अवॉइड लिसनिंग टू टू मेनी पीपल सबसे ज्यादा आप डॉक्टर पे ही फोकस करिए कि जो डॉक्टर्स आपको बताते हैं उसके बाद क्रॉस चेक करने के लिए 10 जगह नहीं जाना चाहिए बिकॉज उसमें बहुत नेगेटिविटी हो जाती है सो just trust your instincts and trust your doctor that will help you to stay positive okay can we eat chukkandar in the third trimester ma'am this is our region specific
Yes, you can eat that's not a problem.
all right okay raat ko at night when we feel hungry then what we should take
Okay, so I think you can have something like nuts. Nuts is a very good choice to have at night. You can have some milk, and you can have a little bit of snacks. You can get it made like makhana is a very good choice, and anything that is healthy made at home, you can have a little bit of snack at night because a lot of my patients they complain that they cannot sleep at night and when they get up at 2 or 3 in the night they are hungry. So don't keep yourself hungry. You can drink something. You can have some nuts. You can have some makhanas, and that should satisfy your hunger for that time at least, and then you can go back to sleep.
okay all right another question ma'am is what should be the ideal sleeping position during pregnancy
Left lateral position is the ideal position because it improves your blood flow to the body as well as to the baby. So if you cannot sleep all the time on the left lateral, you can take a right position also. But हमेशा करवट से सोना है, सीधा नहीं सोना है, उल्टा भी नहीं सोना है.
right और अगर आप अपने को पिलोज से सपोर्ट करेंगे तो थोड़ा आसान हो जाएगा उस पोजीशन में सोना काफी टाइम मैंने सुना है प्रेग्नेंट मदर्स के से कि इतने हम पिलोज ले लेते हैं कि हमारे हस्बैंड के लिए जगह ही नहीं बचती बेड पे क्योंकि इतने हमने ही पिलोज ले लिए तो मेक योरसेल्फ कंफर्टेबल दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट
Yes.
okay next question ma'am I am in my 4th month and sometimes I feel arm pain in the night which makes my night sleepless what should I do
You can just apply some balm. You can use some hot compress over your arm. And if it doesn't help, then you should go see your doctor. It could be due to some calcium deficiency. It could be there. It could be some pain there. If these two things don't help you, then you might need some medication for the pain.
right okay the next question is I am 31 weeks pregnant and last week we found level of amniotic fluid at 7.7 please suggest me a good diet to improve the same
Okay. I will take a little bit of it and ma'am then you can also suggest. So amniotic fluid is less. Anything above 10 or 11 is okay. So you should include watermelons. You should include nariyal pani. You should take a lot of fluids. Okay, all these things are important. So basically you need to improve the fluid in your diet, and that is how we can improve the amniotic fluid. But always remember, taking it once a day or taking it for 1 week, it is not going to help. You have to keep taking it for a long time for the results to be seen. Okay, and if you have something more to add, please do.
Yeah, I mean, we generally also suggest that along with good fluid intake, a good protein diet also helps because protein give you amino acids in a natural form.
Yes.
Otherwise, if the levels are really low and they're alarming dropping, then your doctor will recommend some amino acids in a sachet form, which you can then take on a regular basis.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have the next question. Can we take the COVID vaccine during pregnancy?
No, no, it is not yet safe, and WHO has not yet recommended for pregnant patients or lactating mothers to take COVID vaccine. So please avoid taking it as of now.
Right. So I think actually the situation is that जब हम as mothers we are googling, we are seeing that in the US there are vaccines being given to pregnant mothers. We have to remember that those vaccines are different. We have a different set of vaccines in our country right now. So we don't have studies, and those studies that are done in the US are also very, very small. So it's better to be safe and not take the vaccine and just practice all the other norms of COVID safety. Next question, ma'am, is talking about stretch marks.
1 second. Vaccine is a form of virus. Okay, so what you're basically doing is you're injecting virus in your body to form antibodies. In pregnancy, there is already some amount of immunodeficiency in the body. So if you're injecting any virus, that can flare up any reaction. So that is why we should avoid taking these vaccines in our pregnancy. Okay, next question, ma'am.
What about stretch marks? How can I deal with stretch marks?
So you have to keep your skin soft and moisturized starting from the first trimester, not when it starts to appear. So as soon as you come to know that you're pregnant, start to apply a good amount of moisturizer on your tummy, on your breast, on your thighs and your buttocks. These are the 4 places you have to apply every day, twice a day, good amount of moisturizer or body butter, whatever you like. You can also use bio oil, coconut oil. Basically, we need to keep our skin soft so that when it is stretching because the uterus grows, then there is no stretch marks.
Right. Perfect. The next question is, can we skip antenatal regular checkups because of the COVID situation?
It will depend on which trimester you are in. For the first trimester, yes, you can talk to me around maybe end of 2nd month or in the 3rd month. Before that, you can take a teleconsultation because there should have been one sonography in your first trimester. At the end of your first trimester, there would be 2nd sonography. Then, depending on, you have to say sonographies as well as if you have to assess clinically how the patient is going along with the pregnancy. So, it depends on which trimester you are in, what is your condition. If you have any other comorbidities around, then I will be able to guide you better.
Understood. Okay. Ma'am, a mother wants to know more about stem cell banking. Would you like to share some views on that?
See, it is a very personal choice. What it can do is that in the future, if your baby requires stem cells are pluripotent cells. That means that it can transform into anything that you want, right? So it is like a bank of something that you might need later. Say for there are about 80 some ailments that it could be used for. So we can discuss it in detail if you would come here, because there are a lot of things that can be discussed, and even the family members can use these stem cells. Just imagine it that it is something that is like. It is a tree, okay, and there can be multiple things that we can use in a tree. So it is something like that. It can give you flowers, it can give you fruits, it can give you leaves, it can give you branches, so many things. Okay, so we will discuss about it.
Okay. I have a question from a mother. She says, I'm an obese person, and is it okay for me to do Kegel exercise or other exercise during the 3rd trimester of pregnancy?
Absolutely, yes. Kegels is always good, so there is not a problem to do Kegels. Kegels is what basically you contract your muscle like you're holding on your urine, and then you relax it. Then you contract and then you relax it. So you do this 30 times for 2 repetitions and at least 3 times in a day. This is what I ask my patients to do. So, but in a pregnant patient, I think once in a day should be alright. Like one sitting, 30 ke 2 sets.
Right. एंड यू नो ओबेसिटी है मैम, तो अगर आप थोड़ा वॉकिंग वगैरह भी शुरू करते हैं एज पर योर कंफर्ट, अगर आपके डॉक्टर ने परमिशन दिया है, तो आई थिंक यू विल फील बेटर. So just check with your doctor what is allowed for your particular case and then start. मैम अभी
Yeah.
एक क्वेश्चन आई थिंक जो जनरली मैंने प्रेग्नेंट मदर्स से सुना है, आई विल आस्क यू फ्रॉम माय साइड. जो डिलीवरी के टाइम पे बिकॉज ऑफ दिस करंट कोविड सिचुएशन, व्हाट कैन अ फैमिली एक्सपेक्ट? ये मतलब कोविड टेस्ट करवा के आना है, जरूरी है? हॉस्पिटल में आके क्या प्रोटोकॉल्स फॉलो करने हैं? हमारे साथ कौन आ सकता है? और डिलीवरी के बाद मतलब एक्स्ट्रा कुछ केयर हम लेते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द पैंडेमिक. सो इफ यू कैन जस्ट टॉक अबाउट इट फ्रॉम द रिकवरी हॉस्पिटल्स पर्सपेक्टिव, आई थिंक दैट विल बी अ क्वेश्चन ऑन ऑल द मदर्स माइंड्स.
Sure, definitely. So we expect the patient to get a CBC done, a CRP done, basic investigations of HIV, HbSAg done, urine routine done, okay, sugar done, and then most important, we want the COVID-19 RT-PCR done. If that is negative and CRP is okay, the CBC or counts are within limits, then we go ahead with the delivery or we go ahead with the cesarean. If that is not so, or if you are COVID positive, then we have different protocols absolutely altogether. How to take care of a pregnant patient, it is different. How to deliver a pregnant patient, that is also absolutely different. So yes, you can have one or two people along with you at the time of your delivery who are wearing masks. We generally don't ask for their RT-PCR because we are not going to operate them or do any procedure on them. Just basic sanitation is required, and to wear mask all the time is required. And not a lot of people, definitely we don't want multiple people coming and visiting in the hospital also, so that we maintain distance also.
Right, wonderful. So even if the mother is COVID positive, she does not need to worry. She's not going to lose you as a doctor. So that is, I think, something which is very reassuring, for a pregnant mother.
Yes. So the thing is that we are not absolutely telling the patient to go and not seeing her if she's COVID positive. What we are doing for the mild cases, we are providing treatment. So at home, you can take the treatment from us. You can be on WhatsApp connection with us. You can do a video call absolutely anytime. And if you are having moderate symptoms, then you let us know. We can guide you from there. If you need an HRCT or you need to take remdesivir, we will guide you what to do. We'll be there with you. Don't worry.
All right. There is one question from a mother. She is asking, with the COVID situation, can I do my GTT test at home?
I'm sorry, which test?
The GTT, glucose tolerance test.
Glucose tolerance test could be done at home. If you can call some laboratory guy, just do a fasting, take the 75-gram glucose, do after 1 hour test and 2-hour test, and just let me know the results. You can absolutely. So I
She doesn't want to go to the lab multiple times.
no problem. You can call the lab guy at home and get it done. And the most important thing that I would want to tell you is that we want a GTT to be done from 24 weeks to 28 weeks. If suppose it has skipped to do between this time period, then up to 32 weeks also we allow patients to do a GTT.
Right.
And also, if your HbA1c is high, then also sometimes we can suggest a GTT early on.
Right. And is it okay instead of calling a lab person to do it with a home glucometer?
No. We want a laboratory testing done for this.
Okay, perfect. Ma'am, there is one last question, I think, which has come from a mother. She wants to know that is it safe to have a COVID test if I'm having symptoms?
Yes, it is safe. A lot of our patients who are pregnant they have to undergo this COVID test so that we know if she's COVID positive, we can start treatment for her and the baby as soon as possible before any kind of complications develop, because we are seeing a lot of complications if the patient is becoming COVID positive and is not taking treatment. So yes, please get treated, please get tested and let us know so we can help you in this.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I think we've finished all the questions. Kamal, that was Dr. Amrita Goel from the Recovery Hospital. It has been a pleasure, ma'am, to have you with us, and thank you so much for taking the time and answering all the questions that our mothers have been asking. Oh, one last question is popped out. Let's just take that also. Ma'am, can I take a painkiller if I'm having a headache?
Yes, only paracetamol you can take, Crocin, you can take it as over-the-counter medication, you can take it, no problem at all. You can use a pain balm, but not more than once a day, okay? And any other medication that you want to take for pain, you have to ask your doctor if it is safe or not. So if you're not asking us, only Crocin is allowed for you. That also not more than 2 grams in a day. Maximum dose is 2 grams.
Right. And basically the thing is, अगर headache बार-बार हो रहा है, headache is happening again and again, then you should buy it. You know, don't just keep popping the Crocin.
Yes.
All right. Lovely. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. So, Madan, that was Ankita Goyal from the Recovery Hospital. Session brought to you by Cord Life and Sonali to facilitate the entire session. We hope you learned a lot. We would love to get your feedback if there is any. And we look forward to seeing you in other sessions and having more learning experiences together. Thank you so much.
When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment. Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all. When you start learning again. Or with a new rule. Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank. Cord Life. One chance, one choice.